but I'll check information.
You get this video. Yeah, there's a lot of meetings we don't have, but this is a background.
Oh, yeah. We usually name the teachers during the year. And sometimes we don't even have teachers.
I think they have
We got a lot of.
yeah, a couple times we have. Never.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see the But this out. Oh, there's David Gordon. Yeah, I think it's very So let's see, I don't have Eric's number. Thanks for giving us an extra night. Hey, right now, I'm only the best. I don't know. Not bad. Hey, there's Eric. Hey, have you stayed with this? I see you're on now. I think so.
I got three right now.
I have rain.
We were looking at going to the
Oh, there you go. I want to Lancaster. They're really good. My husband's next yeah, they're doing the interviews. They're very cool.
I got about 210 of that one I got right now.
Good show. Rain.
Yeah, it's like a.
Eric, when do you go back? They have like a couple days, teachers, and then a couple days. All right, I have 6. You ready? Okay, I have 6 o'clock, so we're going to start our meeting with flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice justice for all.
We'll have a moment of silence. Tammy, would you do the roll call, please?
Clifford Adams.
Here.
Patty Anderson.
Here.
Carrie Armagost. Here. John Burke.
Here.
Brady Fight.
Here.
Diane Page. Yes. Jeff Powell.
Here.
Eric Sudling.
Here.
Kelly Trevor.
Here. Thank you. Okay, we're going to skip in and do some of our other items before we move to public participation and our presentations. Do we have any board concerns this evening? Not hearing any?
This is Patty. I have something I'd like to say, please.
Okay.
So as we consider going forward on tonight's meeting particularly, I'd like to remind us that we're all here bringing many communities together in the Fort County area. We're in an area where there is not a lot of youth-centered experiences that are outside of our community. They exist, but you do have to travel to get them. So families are trying to invest and trying to support our school as a community-centric part of this area. I think we need to start to evaluate how we provide support for those youth in and out of school. Because I do believe that you can't separate the outside activities from the inside school activities because they have commonality of the youth that are involved. So as we work to find a solution to many of the things that we're going to be taking a look at in the next, I'm sure next several board meetings, I'd like to remind us that as citizens and as representatives with this school board, that perhaps we need to work harder together to, and I'm not saying that we don't, but I think more harder together and more transparent to bring that focus back on our youth and provide things that perhaps the school cannot provide in a community manner. So when we have outside organizations that exist, and we do have our 501c that the school does have, we work for common solutions, I think everybody wins. And that's it.
Thank you, Patty. Any other board concerns? Okay, we don't have any finance and purchase, so we'll move on to personnel. Carrie, would you do personnel?
Sure. Letter A, consideration to approve hiring Sydney Wise as a long-term fourth grade substitute teacher for the 2024-25 school year. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Letter B, consideration to approve advertising for a full-time administrative position to be determined at the WSTU facility. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Terry, my recommendation would be to advertise for a principal in the West 2 program. I know we have a lot of administrators getting closer to retirement, but our needs up there in that program are immediate. And I think if we're looking for a long-term solution, it may take a little bit more time to find that right candidate. I believe that the work that's going on up there is really good, but we need somebody up there in the facility on a daily basis. Doing my best to cover it right now, but with the start of school, it's just hard to be in two places at one time.
Do we want to amend that motion? Specifically say principal?
Oh, yeah, I think you should.
Okay, so I will amend that, and I'll make a motion to consider approving advertising for a full-time principal position at West 2.
Just keep in mind that, we do have that in the grant for this year coming up, so the cost of that position is grant funded, and it will be sustained by building home school districts to cover the cost of the program up there long term.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
We don't have a second on that.
I thought CJ
I
seconded.
second the original, but I just be amended. Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Patty?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, we have no instructional services, no policy. We're going to move down to facilities. Brady, can I ask you to do that?
Sure. Letter A, consideration to approve youth football using the varsity football field during the 24-25 season. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, I do have a timeline that I just want to do for the public's sake, kind of talking about what's happened in the past with the football field. The co-op was started with Union in 2016 due to limited participants, and we had a 50-50 split. The last varsity home ACV game was here October of 2021. The athletic committee was created to secure funding, the football field committee, through grants and donations. I know Dr. McDivitt wrote a grant to the John Phillips Foundation for $50,000. Unfortunately, we weren't selected. On May 2nd of this year, there was a joint ACV Union Co-op meeting and discussion about the hopes of bringing back varsity football to AC Valley's fields. On June 3rd, the AD and the principals and Mr. Best, our maintenance director, walked the field and was concerned about safety issues linked to a rough playing surface. On June 20th, public school board discussion about bringing back ACV varsity football games. The insurance company, Beals Insurance, was contacted on June 14th for guidance and to ask for a professional recommendation on a football field evaluation. We had been looking at other areas. Patty had recommended Penn State. That person wasn't available, and I know there were several other people that were contacted to help us with an evaluation on the quality of the field. Dr. McDivitt followed up with the insurance company on June 25th, July 10th, and July 21st, trying to secure an evaluator to deem the field safe or not. On July 10th, we met again as a joint athletic committee, which was a virtual meeting, to discuss home games and to set up a second walkthrough. And the idea was that if we could get something accomplished, we could possibly hold a game here in October. I think it was October 18th. So we could at least have a homecoming game here. At that meeting, thankful to Mr. Fike, he donated some equipment, and that was what, Brady?
It's a rubber tire roller.
I'm sorry?
It was a rubber tire roller.
Okay. And that was used by Mr. Best on the field to try and make some improvements. And it was discussed at that meeting that if we could get some things done and they blocked the field again, we could hold a game here in October. The football field walkthrough was held by the AD, the superintendents, the principals, maintenance, and coaches. Everyone was concerned about the small bumps on the field and did not recommend playing until field issues are resolved. The insurance carrier sent out an evaluator to look at the football field on July 29th. And then on July 30th, we received the evaluation letter, which we all have read on their content. So that's kind of a review. Is there any other discussion on that? Everybody okay with the timeline? Okay, are we ready to take a vote? All those in favor? Aye. Patty?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. So now that we've voted and we are approving the youth football field to play on our field with the understanding that we have a waiver that you guys will sign, that the league can sign saying that, you know, you won't hold us liable. You also have your own insurance, which we need an updated copy. The school just has last year's policy. I don't believe so, right? We don't have this year's policy. Okay. So is there any discussion or public participation at this time? Sure.
Paul Murray, President of Youth Football and Cheer. Thanks everybody for having this special meeting tonight and listening to us. With that being said, my timeline, we have a banquet in March where we pay our dues to belong to the ABC League. In April, we submit a form to the school where the board approves us to use the school facility. In May, I contact Dr. Divitt and Mr. Sherman, the AD, about our scheduling. First week of June, the ABC League Committee, we put the schedule together, and we have 120 kids in the program. We have 21 officers and board members in the program. Our season started July 22nd with practice. We have a scrimmage this coming Saturday, and our first game is the following Saturday. So that being said, I took on hosting 4 games, and if I can't host those games, I have to forfeit. So these kids, without even playing those games, will have 4 losses. with the grace of Mr. Scott Kendall, Dr. Kimball, and the union board, they did approve us to play 3 games over there. The 4th one, we have an issue because union also has a game that day. So we're down to 1 game that we need to find a place to play. Talking to our insurance, I don't know if this waiver is going to work. What we do need to find out is what is wrong with the facility, with the football field, with the practice field. What is wrong with it? What needs fixed? What needs done to satisfy us playing on that field without a waiver? You know, I talked Kelly's ear off this week. I've talked to Mr. McDevitt several times this week. The problem is, every time we ask what's wrong, there's not a solid answer. I have multiple people asking me, hey, Paul, I have the money. Hey, Paul, I have the equipment. I don't know what to tell them because I don't have an answer on that. And you had this insurance guy come out, which is a lot of content here that we can go over, but I'm just gonna go to the end here. It says, at this present time, I found the field to be unusable for physical education classes and sporting events. My recommendation would be that the services of a qualified engineering firm be obtained to evaluate existing conditions, provide a remediation plan and proper maintenance plan. Did we contact anybody?
We haven't contacted them officially, but we have this quote that you guys received when you were on the committee.
Okay, that was like to redo the field.
And my understanding is that's what they want, the insurance company
That's what
wants.
they want.
Yeah, now not all of this, but they're looking at us basically stripping the topsoil,
Okay,
okay? Bringing in new soil, leveling that off, sodding of the field, seeding, remulching, hydromulching, and they have information here about drainage and all that, which that isn't necessary. Now, Mr. Best is here, he can qualify if he has a delineated list, or does that suffice basically what the other gentleman found when he was here doing his review?
Well, the safety inspector was out, and he's just a general safety inspector, he's not an engineer.
Right.
And I'm not sure who put that survey or estimate together there.
This was from an engineering company, Geotech Engineering.
Yeah, so I'm sure they have engineers on staff that know guidelines for conditions in the field, and what needs done to bring it up to.
Right, I mean,
Code.
they had like almost $54,000 for hauling and general field placement. So if we have people in the community that are willing to do it, I think we can do it a lot cheaper.
that's what I'm asking. Can you guys put something together that would satisfy this field to use?
I don't think that's a problem.
Okay.
I mean,
That's what I need. I need something to show people. We need to have a goal. If there's a money goal, then we need to start raising money, that kind of thing. So it's like our youth football, we finally reached where we finally got all the inventory that we need. The big expenses are out of the way. Now we have an opportunity to make the money that we could return some, and now we don't have a place to play. So we definitely, I need an objective of what we need to do.
so as far as
And
the
then black
money
and white,
goes,
please.
I think it's gonna depend on how much volunteer work you have.
Well, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking what needs done,
Okay,
okay?
so you have a copy of this.
I
When we
believe
talked,
so.
you said you had a copy of
Yeah,
it.
I believe so.
What's the hard number, Kelly? What was the hard number?
The hard number for everything they recommended, which included some drainage, was $237,882.70. Like I said, the big number was almost $54,000 for hauling and general field placement, if they did all that. I'm thinking if we do that as a community, we're gonna be able to do that a lot cheaper, hopefully. But if any money is donated, what we'd like to have that done is put through the 501(c), because then you get a tax credit.
Right,
And that can be designated for football field maintenance.
right. And we'll have to sit down and have a contract that this money is used for the field, nothing else.
But can I?
Yeah, go ahead, Carrie.
I'm sorry, I just want to make it clear that I don't feel that it's only only up to football to lead this charge.
I agree,
These are our school facilities.
Right.
So, it should be up to the district to kind of step up and say, all right, we need to create a comprehensive plan in conjunction with anybody using the field, and we certainly appreciate all of the input and help that you guys are willing to give, but it should not fall solely on youth football to handle donations and whatever else to get that field fixed. That falls on us.
well, I think that we have a committee. Maintain,
Well, and I think.
doing that project.
I think the previous committee dissolved, we have board members that are no longer here that were part of that committee. Coaching staff we've had turnover there. We need to reestablish a committee and be a little bit more disciplined in actually coming up with a plan that we follow through with and not just let it fizzle out. We've been discussing this for how many years? I think it's time that we finally take the steps to be a little bit more intentional about following through with it.
And on that note, I know there's more people who like to talk, so I just want to say, just please give me what we need to do. If it's that paper, if that's what, the memo that we need to do, then that's what we'll go with. And
Okay.
I have that, so if there's anything else, let us know. But we need something solid, what we need to shoot for to fix that field and the practice field.
Okay, so let me ask you this. At this point, you're not planning to play then in our field?
I don't think.
Wow.
If you
Yeah,
are.
but-
No, we just voted you can play.
Steve,
We just voted yes, it was unanimous.
Quit playing with the waiver, okay? And I don't think, talking to our insurance company, that they're gonna go with that, unfortunately. So there's issues that have been brought up that need addressed. We need to address those issues before we are able to play.
Did the league, I know it's not your insurance, I know it falls in the ABC league, did they give a timeline of, when they would give you the approval to?
We've been talking all last week, all weekend, and today, and I don't think the waiver's gonna fly.
Do you need a copy of this to give to them?
Yeah, let me.
Because Zach has something, our lawyer has written this up, so,
Right. I
This
can give
is-
that to them to look at, but
yeah.
I think what they're afraid of is another insurance company said there's, safety issues, so, they're looking at it as, okay, we need to address some of these issues, so. So I'll back down. Thank you, everybody, for having us and listening to us. And
And if that changes, let us know,
Yeah,
because we've
yeah, I
already
will.
approved your playing here,
Right,
so.
right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Is there anyone else that has, okay,
I appreciate everybody taking the time to come out of their busy days here and then hanging out, and I appreciate the board. And I must have misunderstood, we have a privilege to play back on the field, which is awesome, so that's great. And if we have some of the resources here, if we can get that put together. Yes, sir.
Can you say your name?
My name's Stephen Buzzard,
Thank you.
Mayor of Foxburg, parent, all that stuff, I like to throw the mayor term out there. I appreciate everybody gathering here this evening, because this is an important aspect of our community and our school district. Like, there's so many, not just in the last few years, but all these volunteers, the parents, we've lived it, we've been here. It's an asset to our community, and it really is. So we're not here pointing fingers and blame, like, what happened now, why this? Things are gonna get resolved, but we wanna have an opportunity, and like you said, it shouldn't be just up to us to do the fundraising and put this together. I guarantee we can get that field fixed in a few weeks, just with the resources and the people that we've talked to, triaxles, dirt, you name it, engineers. It shouldn't be just on us, and it's not just the board's identity that no one's coming here and attacking individually. Like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? But it comes down to, why did it take so long? Why are we even at this point where we're shipping out our athletics, our youth program, our identity to different schools? And as a parent, as the mayor, why? Why are we distributing our youth program, our youth athletics, our sports to different schools when we have an amazing facility here? And I just want to know why. I'm not saying it's this board that did it, or the prior board. I'm sure it's a culmination of years and decisions that have came down to that. But it's disheartening and it's embarrassing when I'm talking to different, friends in different school districts and this and that. I'm like, whoa, we have a great football team. Can't even play on our field. Why? And I think we're going to get somewhere here. And that's the point of getting together and getting this taken care of. But how did we get here in the first place? I just want to know why we don't have varsity football. I mean, I kind of have an idea. But how did we get to the point where there's no varsity football here?
Are you talking about?
Like on the field here itself, home games. And it was always a numbers thing and this and that. But like the program that these parents over here that have put together in the last few years, 5 or 6 years, how many kids, Paul, did you say? 120 kids. That's going to matriculate to JV, varsity. We should be really, really proud. And I know we all are, but we should be really proud of what's going to be coming in the next 4 to 5 years.
It doesn't always, you're not gonna see those numbers at varsity level.
Maybe.
You're not.
Especially.
We don't know.
And wishful thinking.
We don't know.
But I'm just saying, I don't think that with, Union will never be able to support a team on their own. So.
That's fine.
the
But if
co-op-
we can support our own team
The co-op was established.
to supplement those, well, then bring it. Let's go.
And that will continue.
But it wouldn't it be nice to have a facility in the field that we could all be proud of, so we could all play? So I guess that's my point, is all I'm saying is I really hope we can work together. I don't know how we got into this position. I've only been here for a few years because I started paying attention when my kids were little. And that's usually how it works. You don't pay attention until your kids are involved in the program.
I can tell you how we got in this position. The coaches came to us in, what was the date? 2021, and said they would not play on our field.
Heard that.
And that's
Where it kind of
happened.
started. That's where we need to get back together, this might be the starting point, but if we got there in 2021 where they said they weren't gonna play on our field, let's get our field fixed.
And Brady, you were on the committee. Can you explain a little bit about, Why
Because
the
the questions I have, Mr. Williter, those are the whys. Because, as we just got involved in the last few years, we don't have the answers. We
Okay.
don't know the why.
he can give us some background. You were on the committee from the start. Can you kind of tell us about what you guys went through and how things fell apart?
Sure. So there was like Carrie said, a number of us on the board, the committee, board members, superintendent. We had local community members and some coaches on the board as well. We had a couple different specialists come look at our field and give us some really rough, really hard, high numbers of what it would take to get the field back in shape. At the time they came, is when prices on everything were skyrocketing and continuously climbing. We applied for several grants, but the majority of the grants, if not all of them, we were applying for and eligible for, there had to be a match on our side as well. So whether, they give us 50,000, we have to match that 50,000 as well. So that was one issue that we saw, we couldn't match 50,000. At the time, we were getting quotes that were close to $500,000 or above. And so at $20,000 matching gives us $40,000, that wouldn't do hardly anything for the field at the time. We talked with local individuals who were on the committee, and they said, don't worry, we can get manpower, we can get donations, we can get equipment, et cetera. And we said, okay, great. And I guess the ball sort of got dropped in communications or somewhere along the lines, and it just sort of fizzled out then. We would meet periodically. David was really good about looking for grants we would be eligible for. He applied for a couple of them, and unfortunately, we weren't receiving those grants. And so we kept having less and less meetings. People kept getting less involved because, people would say, oh, we'll do this, and then nothing happened, and it sort of just fizzled out then.
And coaches changed.
The turnover of board members and coaches changed as well. So trying to loop people in of what happened and where we're at the process, where we want to go is also another difficult item.
I want to say something. It's not that we don't care about that field. We have been fighting and trying to get this field fixed up for a couple of years now at least. And we put a little money in it, all we had. That's the issue, is we don't have a lot of money to put into it, but we have done a few things every year to help improve it. But one time it went against us because what was done wasn't correct.
And
I appreciate that information.
I did ask James to give me a rough figure of what he's done financially, what we've spent on the field, and he's put about $16,000 worth of items onto the field, being grass seed and sand and renting machinery. He could explain that more if you want to know what all has been done in an attempt to try and make the field better without encumbering a $250,000 debt. At this point, like I said, we put about 16,000 in from the district to try and do some maintenance on
Do
it.
some, yeah, maintenance. But the programs or the committees that were originally established have kind of dropped.
Yes,
just about.
yes.
I'm familiar with that, being on other committees and everything like that, but I'd really like to, if we can get like another committee started, I know we can get something done.
That would be next.
I mean, I know we can, just talking from some of the individuals here, the people in the community with the back of the school, but that's the thing that we want to do, kind of really get the backing from you folks. Like, help us out, we can get it done, like, not just do it and then, it's important to us, and it's important to the school district. So,
Important for the community.
it's important for the community.
Oh, we agree. That's why we called this special meeting to vote and let you know that we're behind that.
So.
And I appreciate that.
I'm Clifford Adams, Clinton Township, Venango. I've just been on here a few months, and one thing opened my eye, because I didn't know anything about this. I walked in this blind, I've never done this before, and I think people don't understand the kind of finances the schools in terrible finances.
That's why they give themselves a behind the door 20% raise at the end of last year.
No, wait,
Yeah,
wait,
exactly.
wait. That has nothing to do with this, and we're
So-
not gonna go in that direction.
So,
Because that is incorrect. That is incorrect information, ma'am.
You don't want to put money into something that has.
Do you understand that that's grant money that cannot be used for a football field because it came from the state of PA? And that has nothing to do with this situation. Sorry, CJ, you make it up.
So we can talk about that some other time. Yes, that is grant money. That has to do with another facility that we're trying to also somehow bring money into this. But anyways, so the school loses almost $750,000 every year. Over the last 6 to 7 years, we've lost that much money. And it's not because of money's been spent in the wrong places, money's been spent here. We've decided to quote unquote line our pockets or whatnot. Honestly, our biggest issue is cyber school. And we all talk about it, and, they can set how much money they want to charge the school district each year. And honestly, if it wasn't for our outside costs of cyber school, we would be very close to budget neutral.
So I guess I do mean to interrupt, but it's so if a child in the district opts for, their parent opts for to have their child cyber school, the district's they have to pay for that.
Correct.
Regardless of what the amount is.
And
So-
What about the money that they got from the COVID funding to pay for cyber school?
I wasn't here then, but I imagine it probably did help.
Totally separate.
Yeah.
That's it,
There you go. So hopefully this year, we have a lot of new things in moving. We've raised taxes, which I know no one wants to pay taxes. I'm a taxpayer. I don't want to raise taxes. But hopefully this year, the way things look on paper, before the year started, we are in the black, in the positive. So if we can continue this trend over the next couple of years, I don't see why the school cannot start pushing money into facilities and where we've been lacking in the last how many years that we've lost all this money. Obviously we all have Facebook, we all get on there and vent, but I didn't know any of this until the beginning of the year when I got on this and I had numbers in front of me. And once again, the budget is public every year for a month. Anyone can go on there and look at the budget to see where our money is going. So I just wanted that information to be out there because there's so much miscommunication between the board, the public, everything. No one on this board is against fixing the facilities. No one on this board is against trying to better our community. My kids are going to go here in a couple of years. I want them to be here until they graduate, and many more. So I know there's many people that are upset at the board that just don't understand what is honestly going on. And that's not their fault, that's not our fault. So please, contact the board members, don't get on Facebook, because all Facebook does is cause problems. If you honestly have an issue, contact me. Contact anyone on this board and talk. Please be respectful, because we're all up here on our own. We're donating our time. It's many hours I read emails, I respond to people, I'm here at meetings. I'm not on any committees yet, but I do plan to be on a committee to help better the school. But that's just my rant. I just wanted everyone to understand what's going on and where things are at. So hopefully we can come together collectively as a board, as a community, to make this better. Thank you.
My concern was, when I came on the board, was I knew the deficit was horrendous. And my concern was trying to keep the deficit down so we could keep the doors open here. I was concerned we were going to run out of money and they were gonna close us up.
I mean, I don't need to stand up there anymore. I feel like I'm facilitating. I'll just reiterate my final 2 cents, and I do appreciate everybody coming up here, and I just, it's disheartening at first when you hear things where there was no productivity, or apathy, or negligence, not negligence like on the board's part, but, you know, we need these fields and athletic programs back here. So if this is we need them. I mean, what are the kids gonna do? And it's just, I already said it once, but like shipping out our athletic program, it's not a good look, but we really need to bring it back here. So it's nice to hear, you know, like Diane and Cliff, you know, that's the point. So whatever we have to do, and I like how you said, Kelly, too, like it shouldn't be just on us to do all that. I think it's Kelly, is that correct? Carrie, close enough. Like, do what we have in meetings, but it's gotta be, listen, I'm on enough committees and programs and, you know, down in the borough and all this, you know, it's one thing to say one thing and then don't do anything about it. You know, that's like the most important part. You know, we're on the country club. It's putting, you know, foot to traction. I'd really like to make something happen. And I know anybody right over here, I mean, they donate so much time, blood, sweat, tears, missing parties with their family to make sure that there's baseball, there's football, or basketball. It's what we do, you know, it's what we're here for.
And I can say, it's a good thing this happened, because now we have people that are concerned enough that want to step up and help.
Right.
Because every board meeting, we say, what's happening with the football field? Well, basically, nobody stepped up to do anything. So I'm appreciative that we now have people that are concerned enough that are going to join with us and make this a joint effort to get this accomplished, because we've been saying, we want football back at AC Valley.
Can I address the board?
Yes, sir. State your name and.
My name is Mike Buchholz. I'm just a parent that's concerned. First of all, I'd like to thank you for opening my eyes. I don't understand budget. I don't understand much. I know my kid goes here, and I care about the district. I care about the members that they're, other students that they're with, their friends, and the community in general. So thank you. My first question is, if we are operating at a $750,000 loss on an annual basis due to cyber school, what, as a board, is being done to bring those students back into this district? That money alone could fund the
Exactly.
football field.
And it's been our concern for years.
And with that, I yield back.
We have 39 kids out on outside cyber right now, and our cost for those students, for a general ed student, is just over $20,000 per student, and a student who's been identified with a learning disability, just over $44,000. So that's where that $700,000 to $750,000 comes from. We run our own in-house online learning program. We partner with the Titusville Area School District, and they run their own program. We can do it for just about $4,000 per student. And that's the difference in the cost right there. Although it's up to the parents to choose to take their kids outside cyber. And there's a whole host of them. You see them on TV all the time. And we can't stop that. We've called them. We've sent information in the past. We've tried several times. A lot of them are families. And once they pull their students out, they don't want to bring them back in. So that's what we've been doing with cyber school and trying to get the kids back. If we hear of a student who may not like to get up in the morning, or discipline-related issues, or whatever it may be, we try to reach out to the families and students to keep them from going to outside cyber, because that's the other piece of it, is that a lot of times the students aren't intrinsically motivated and they don't do well in outside cyber. So we try to keep them here in AC Valley, but that's where that cost comes from, and the reason why it's so escalated. Now, Governor Shapiro did have a bill out there that he capped the cyber school at $8,000, but that wasn't approved. The legislators in Harrisburg did not approve that. That could have been a $500,000 saving for taxpayers here at AC Valley.
And it was recently noted in the papers that I believe it was $250 million revenue they have in their, what's the word I'm looking for?
Fund balance.
Their fund balance. The cyber schools have a $250,000 fund balance. Yes, did I say million? $250 million fund balance. And we're down to what?
Just about $2 million.
So there shows you, and you know what, I would say the best thing you can do, contact your legislator.
Is there any, like, the district's obligated to pay for the cyber school?
Exactly. And we can't mandate that they have to go to our cyber school. They can take any cyber school they want.
But if they're residing in the district, then it's on taxpayers in this area.
Yeah,
And we've talked many times with legislators. They have a legislative update meeting. I know Brady's been to Harrisburg. Dr. McNiven and I have done several, many face or virtual meetings with legislators, and we've told them this many times. But you know what it comes down to? And whose pocket they're in.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Jacqueline Maley,
Yes.
emailed every single one of you.
Yes.
Probably multiple times. on multiple issues.
And we responded.
Yes, well, not everybody, so take that to your. But, with the letter, I want to kind of get back to the reasons that we're here. So that letter lumped together the track, the practice field, and the football field. Can you reach out to the insurance company and have them break it down? Because if we have to submit the waiver, or we have to fix the issue, they had it all three lumped together, and everybody has to stay off all three of those. If we want to try to get just to the football field, we would need to know what issues we have to fix with that specific area. Not saying the other areas aren't important, but we need to figure out what we need to do and potentially give that to our insurance company. So hopefully we have any kind of hope or chance of getting back on that field for the season. Or
Carrie, do you have a?
No, CJ.
Okay. Yes. And I think, like I said, this quote came from an engineering company who does have experience with this, has given us some ideas where to start. I personally don't feel like putting in, I don't know, did they give us this quote without a cost? Did we have to pay for them to come? I was thinking we did, so I would prefer not to waste more money having companies come in and tell us what we kind of already know. And based on the discussion you had with the gentleman from the insurance company, it kind of lines up with what we already know. That we need to dig up the field, we need to bring in new surfacing or new fill, do that, resod or seed, whatever we can do. And that will hopefully justify or meet the needs of what the insurance
But could
companies
he
require.
amend his letter to be very specific, because he said it's all unplayable, but I walked that track, I know that there's cracks in it, and I would say, yeah, you shouldn't have somebody running track on it. But a kid walking on it for gym or doing whatever,
I don't
they
know,
should
that
be walking outside.
I don't think the track was included in that. It was just the fields.
I
Yeah, it
thought
was a
it
field
lumped
inside
all
the track.
three.
It was
But
a field
it
inside
said
the
back into that area, but if,
Yeah.
we need to know what's specific with that,
We didn't have.
Area. because the letter was, it seemed very lumped together. Like, you can't be on the football field, you can't be back by the track for gym class or anything. But if we have to submit, we submitted the letter to the insurance company. And in order for the waiver to be signed or not signed, I think it should be more specific to what that issue was or is, because they dug out, the ground was hard, the letter didn't have much in it.
Right, and I think what he said was, he cannot tell us, am I correct, Bob, in that he is not an engineer that can tell us what needs done? We have to go with an engineering company, which we have an old quote we can use. I don't believe he's gonna write a letter saying, do this, this, and this. Am I correct, Bob?
Yeah, and I don't know what, if you got an engineer come in, whether they recorded all that, to see, you know, a foot down, 2 feet down, what's actually there.
On the football field. But we didn't have that done on the other property, like on the other parts of the property that were included in that letter, and it would come at a cost. I mean, if we reached out to that same engineering company to come out and then give us a itemized list for the track and then the backfield or whatever.
But if the insurance company is coming out and saying, you can't walk on this football field, you can't walk on this part of the yard, I wanna know why I can't walk on the football field, why I can't walk on the yard, but his letter put everything lumped together.
I don't think they're gonna, they may say what the safety hazards are, but they're not gonna say what needs to be done.
What qualifies them to say that it's unfit or unsafe if they don't know what it would take to make it fit or safe? You know what I'm saying?
Well, the guy who said in the email that he has no idea, he doesn't know, he's not a football field inspecting kind of person. He said that in the one email, he has no idea what he's doing.
What what designation did it say? It was a safety professional.
It
He
was
has a
for,
safety.
he's a certified safety
Management
professional.
improvement.
What was it?
He's a certified safety professional.
Safety management specialist.
He's accredited by the Board of Certified Safety Professionals, been for since 1998. His credentials expire this coming December.
I have a separate question though, just to put that out there for the future. Prior to this year and youth having to pay to get the lights fixed, we had paid rent previously. If youth is going to help raise money to make it a group effort, could it maybe be looked at that they don't have to pay rent in the future for an extended period of time if they're gonna help raise money to fix the field and get it playable again? That's just something to,
I mean, I think that's something to discuss. I mean, there was no question this year we didn't budget put money in, so I don't think that would be an issue as we work. I mean, I think that, we can look at that as things progress. I think that's a fair question.
Well, what happened to the money that they've paid in rent for years and years and years?
$300. It's a facility use fee that helps pay for things like the electricity, the water, things like that. It's not a large amount of money, it's $300, I think, is our facilities use on an annual basis. Am I correct with that, David?
Yep.
That's $300.
For the whole year.
Then if they played some games under the lights, there was another charge, I don't remember that one.
so, just to clarify, it's $300 a game.
No,
That was how much.
Well, I've been writing the checks.
It shouldn't be that.
I paid $2,000 last year.
Oh, shocking.
Unless something changed. I'm just going back to when,
I mean, I don't have a checkbook with me, but I wrote the check.
double check that, because it's, in accordance with the
Is that
facilities
food, is
here.
that food janitors?
No, we paid the.
They pay the janitors themselves.
That's why.
Yeah, but the facilities use it's a standard, no matter what organization uses the facilities, it's the same. Am I wrong with that, David? I go
Yeah,
back
we
to
don't have
mine.
many people use it, but I'll have to get back to you on that. I thought it was a one-time 300 fee.
It was like $2,000 last year because we used it, not last year, the year before, we used it for that Curarama thing we had too, so it was an extra day. It was like $75 a day or something like that before, like 400 days was like $300.
Well, while that gets looked into, does the youth program have the ability to also assist in writing grants or trying to raise money?
Certainly, yeah.
Okay.
As long as it's done
I think
under,
that should be done with, if we put this committee together, that there should
Yeah.
be representation from.
But they may qualify for something that a school is not gonna qualify for.
just a
Where's
point
limit?
of clarification, if you write the grant, it just needs to be written under that 501c3, or else you're not eligible for a large majority, if not all of the public funding grants.
That has a youth program.
Yeah, probably more so than what a school is eligible for. So that would be awesome, if you guys can find something that we can't qualify for.
You know what, back to what was being said, where Paul mentioned that the board just approved the youth football being allowed to be played on our fields, which is fantastic, but it's all dependent on Paul about the insurances from ABCU that you guys have, right, waivers being allowed. If your waiver doesn't pass, does it fall back on the school, and your insurance allow us to play here if theirs doesn't? Or that's still part of the,
That was the.
that was part of the whole thing, it was the, okay, just clarifying.
The other part of that you may want to think about, and I don't know, I'm just gonna throw this out there. My name is Sean Burke, Scrubgrass Township. I first shared a school board, this is a whole new thing to me. I mean, I really just discovered this a couple of months ago. But, insurance for the level of play that you guys are going with a midget team compared to the level of play of a varsity level team. You think about the impact and the speed of the play and things like that. I think there might be an opportunity there to talk to your insurance carrier and say, hey, look, this is not suitable for full-out varsity play, but it might be okay for midget football play. Well, then school insurance should be able to do that. I don't know, our insurance is already covering us. The school insurance should already say that, not ours.
But we're on short, we're short through the district, not to cover mental.
Right.
I do have another question. Are we still allowed to practice on campus?
Yeah, they didn't do anything with the practice field up there. They just tested 2 spots of the varsity football field and inside the track field.
Which is already practice.
That's what we practice. So we're
We
not allowed to
practiced behind the school too.
Okay, so we can practice anywhere other than
Yes.
where the track.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're not gonna be able to have phys ed outside there?
Well, we use the field rec behind high school.
Okay.
What is the difference between that field and this field and that field? It's all the same property.
I guess it's not a football field.
There's like,
They're not gonna play football game.
well, we're just practicing one, we're not playing football.
Right, but when she asked about phys ed, it's not a football field, so.
And phys ed, I mean, is that ground harder than the gym? I mean.
I think all ground is hard right now, other than the rain we
You've
just
got the
got.
insurance guy here, I wish he could answer some of these questions. I mean, to me, some of it seems a little biased, but.
The gym floor is probably about as hard as the football field is.
So, I mean, today it rained, it's probably softer. We can get equipment to aerate the fields. I've been offered all kinds of equipment, so if somebody would come in and say, hey, this just needs aerated, so it's softer, that can be done. You know, I feel that these answers are just biased, just to put up a roadblock saying, hey, you know, you gotta do something and pay more money, you know, when you involve insurance companies. So that's my opinion.
I don't, no, nobody on the board asked for this gentleman to tell us that we can't play football.
Well, I
In
understand that,
fact,
but-
we are disappointed because we were hoping for a football game here in October.
Well, if I'm in a restaurant and I have somebody come in saying, hey, Paul, you can't serve food anymore, he's gonna give me a reason why. And I'm gonna be able to deal with those reasons so I can start selling hamburgers. So that's where I'm at. You're telling me the ground's hard, but then again, you're saying I'm on the next part hire somebody. I have a problem with that.
I understand that, but you know, you were on the committee, Paul, when this thing was out, so there was some suggestions made there. I mean,
Right.
and so I think this is what we need to plan on accomplishing.
Yes.
With your help, with varsity football's help, because those coaches need to be involved, we'll get a committee going again.
Right.
And
But if I was gonna call with a specialist, then I'd have him where he can identify the problem and say, this is what you need to fix.
And we hope that would happen, but it didn't.
It didn't happen.
No.
Can we call that guy?
It's down a rabbit hole.
Can we call, I'm sorry, I know you're up there. The guy that needs it unfixed, can we get him back here so he can at least tell us what needs to be fixed? Or like, what is in a direction of, you know, how do you fix it if we don't know what's being fixed? Is it possible to call him back and like have?
His comment was that we need an engineering firm.
Yeah,
He has no idea, he's
I got you.
not certified.
Right.
Some of the insurance companies say are way too wide, when the answer was yes, that will always be the answer. And I think that's the point that we're trying to make.
And Tammy just gave me this one, our April 19th of 2022 meeting. We approved the youth football and cheerleading practice and games beginning July 25th, 2022. Practices will be held Monday through Thursday, with games being held on Saturdays, dates to be determined, for a fee of $300 per year, together with the cost for the use of electricity at approximately $40 per occasion. So I'm not sure why you were sending us a check for that, but,
Well, that's what the bill for me.
Yeah, we got it.
okay. Well, we'll
So
find out.
reliable.
Unless that includes the electricity, I don't know. So we'll check with Andrea and see what.
That's a
Yeah,
big
it's
difference.
Is that 2,000 a year?
Yeah.
That was for the year.
Okay, I'm sorry, would you like to speak?
Don't apologize, you're okay.
Would you give us your name first?
Yes, it's Len Myers. I'm relatively new to the area. I left 30 years ago, went to a neighboring school, came back.
Thank you.
Got involved. Can I finish, please?
Yes.
I got involved, thanks for the permission. I got involved last week when this letter came out. Now, you stated the letter came out on July 30th. The letter was dated July 31st, so I was curious which day it was. It's irrelevant at this point. I understand the firm's gotta come out, I understand it. I guess my point as a concerned parent is I have 10 more years of two boys coming up for this school. When I went to school in a neighborhood school, this was the school. This was the school that everybody was proud of, everybody competed. I have a concern, is she trying to talk? Okay, I have a concern that as a captain of a ship that gets a leak, we decide we're gonna work on it when it's at the bottom of the ocean. I spent 2.5 hours with one coach. I called everybody I could get a name because I had 3 days to research this. Everybody told me it's been a problem for years. Okay, we failed as a committee, as you said. To your point, sir, you said, don't get on Facebook, don't look at this, don't hear that. In my past, I'm retired now, but in my past, if you didn't give the public and your employees in those cases the truth out front, out of the gate, guess what they did? They made up their own truth. And it created more for me to fight off and more for me to correct. So I think somebody said earlier, being more transparent, I think absolutely we need to do that. I have some concerns with accountability. Is the athletic director here?
No.
Why not?
Good question.
Did the athletic as an avenue to get an agenda done, or safety is a mindset? I'm concerned that the track has been not maintained. To your point, sir, you mentioned it to the exploratory about the auditorium needs updated. The field's been let go for so many years. If I go check the fire extinguishers, have they been signed off every month? Are they charged? Are they ready to go? I have concerns if my kids come here. If we haven't been able to, as this is, I'm just getting involved. I'm looking forward to working with all you guys and doing my best. I have concern of the safety in this building. Because what this has shown me over the past 3 days of research is there's nobody accountable. The athletic director gets paid a supplemental fee, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, $7,000 extra to be the athletic director. Quotes that I heard were he was too busy, so I looked up the May meeting, the board meeting, where the nurse felt the need to come before this board, I don't know why, and I'm not going to pursue it, and say, hey, we told about the PIAA concussion protocol and sudden cardiac arrest for the kids had been expired. Was that reported to the PIAA? No. I know you can't tell me this. What level of corrective action is that athletic director? I know you can't tell me that. The next part is, this board said he was too busy. Really? With what sports? And if he's too busy, is he not salary?
Okay, now, we cannot get into it.
You can't, I get that. It's rhetorical. You can't get into that.
Right.
But if the comment that I heard online was that we were gonna hire a secretary, and we're talking about money now. And he's too busy. If any of my managers back then had said they were too busy and they went home and they were salaried, I'm sorry, they wouldn't be a manager anymore. I have serious concerns with that. This inspector came, Dr. Deb, did you join him in a tour, a safety inspection of your facility?
He comes out on a regular basis and we do.
Did you join him on this day that he inspected someone?
James was with him that day, I was not with him.
Why not? It's your facility, it's your ship.
Oh, wait, okay. Before we start pointing fingers.
I'm not pointing fingers, I'm just saying, why not?
He
Ask a question. Why not?
Because he has other responsibilities. We have a director of maintenance, and James has done a terrific job
Absolutely,
trying to do this work.
Then the famous quote that I would use on that, inspect what you expect. I get it, you can't do everything. You can't be out there to paint the lines, you can't change the light. I get it. But if you can't hold the athletic director accountable to be there, you're right, you should be there. He should be there. Or she
Was
should
he
be
there?
No.
Was the athletic director there when they did the field?
Negative. I'm very passionate. I got 10 more years. I was proud to come to AC Valley. I retired, dropped everything, moved back across the state. And looking at this, I'm like, what are my kids gonna get? And I'm serious. I'm like, okay, what else has been left to go in this facility that hasn't been exposed yet?
I can tell you there's a monthly safety meeting, Dr. McDivitt heads that, and everything is meeting to code, there's no other safety issues. This came to a head because we were trying to get football back at AC, okay? It doesn't have anything to do with any of these other things. I understand your concern, but I can guarantee you that your child is safe at AC Valley. And as a board.
Except for on the football field or except for out playing phys or running track, or now we just canceled the cross country. So he's safe in an academic
We
aspect.
canceled cross country because we didn't have a coach and we didn't have enough kids to participate.
I absolutely understand. Where's the athletic director?
Um, at this point, we can't comment on employee
I
information.
get, I get that.
That's just the state law. We're not allowed to do that in a public meeting. If we can call an executive session and discuss.
Behind closed doors, I get that.
But also, that gentleman's not here to, I'm not gonna comment on another person when they can't be here to defend themselves. So
I'm not.
if you wanna have an issue, we can have a meeting with him. I'm sure he'd be glad to sit down with you and discuss things.
But isn't that you guys' responsibility?
It is, and we're on that, yes.
Okay, so the expired PIAA certifications,
That's taken care of.
it's
That was
taken care of.
taken care of, yes.
Okay, I appreciate that. The football field has been identified for many years, that been taken care of?
Yes, we've been working on, you just heard the discussion all night about how we've been trying to do it.
The comment I saw is one of the board members said they never heard about it, never heard of this issue.
Well, that,
If you're meeting me, is that what you're saying?
No, it's
No, wasn't there an email sent out that someone said that it had never been mentioned in the school board?
Again, I think.
the comment I made in an email was no one approached the school board volunteering to support and do any work here, or to come for us and say, I have this equipment, I'll bring it and use it. That's the comment that was made. Not that we didn't know anything about what was going on.
So to clarify that,
Yes.
your responsibility as board is to ensure facility safety and upkeep every year, along with the superintendent. You wanted me as a parent to come say, hey, look, I need you to do your job.
Yeah, the money.
Fine. If you have the money, we'll do whatever you want.
Again, okay, so we'll talk money. You got COVID relief, 1.57 million was given last year.
Right.
We list it on the AC Valley website as being partially used for cyber school.
It was, the
That's what it
government really
lists right
came with the stipulation of what the government stipulates when they give money as to what we're allowed to use it for.
But then it says, you explain how AC Valley uses it. It's a direct quote, how AC Valley utilizes these funds. And unless we copy pasted it.
No, we did not.
Okay, so it says remediation supplies, I don't know what that is, after school and summer school programs, after school, well, we don't have these sports. Prior part-time AC.
After-school programs were tutoring and remediation programs for the students.
Okay, and then it says, salary for custodials. I guess we had increased cleaning, I'm sure.
Yes, definitely.
That's, I got that part. What about the part where it says cyber service?
We use that to offset some of the costs that we had, that we were putting in the cyber education.
Okay, but then I believe I saw an email from you, ma'am, that said, we're blaming the football remediation on 700,000 we spent a year, which average cost is 22,000 students. I appreciate that we had 39 out there. But it said that we used that 700,000 and we couldn't remediate our fields. But we just got 1.57 last calendar year, and part of that was cyber service.
Correct.
So,
Just because the money was given doesn't mean we can use it all. Like, I think.
will you give it back?
Yeah, you have to. That's how it works. Listen, grants are very tricky, and like I said, I'm new here, and listen, man, I appreciate everything you bring to the table, because there needs to be light on offense, but there needs to be light on grants. They go word by word on what you can use the money for. And if you don't use that money accordingly, then we either give the money back or whatnot. You know, if we buy Ticonderoga pencils and we only expect cheap number 2 pencils, then we give the money back. It's not like, hey, here's a check for $2 million, use it as you please.
But isn't that money allocated to use for what the school needs? Wouldn't that have been one of the things?
No.
It's
No,
like for
it's
grants that we need
specific.
to maintain things for the students, for the safety, for football. They just repainted the basketball court, for God's sakes.
The money for a grant is allocated for what the grant is written for. Like I just said, they don't just give us $2 million blank check and say, spend it money, please. You know, if these grants are written, they're written to be used word for word. So once again, like we said, we have applied for grants and we haven't gotten them, or if we have gotten them, we've had to double the money, or match the money. So once again, if we're losing thousands and thousands of dollars a year just to function, why on earth as a business, and this is a business, I hate to say it.
Absolutely right.
Who on their right mind, who's losing money out of one pocket, say, oh, let's just put some money towards something else? Like, so you have to cut the bleeding somewhere, and I'm with you. Listen, people, I pay taxes too. I'm with everyone here. And belittling everyone and for what you see or what you think you know, without having the facts, as this gentleman here is coming with, I appreciate the work you put in, and I think we all do. And I think your compassion is nice, and
you don't have to be delicate with me. I'm good.
I've been trained my whole life, and it's very appreciated, maybe. I've seen you. You want to run for school board? Please do. listen, if someone wants to run for school board, I give them every opportunity they can, because without knowing what you're getting into, I had no clue what was going on. So I give anyone the opportunity. If they want to run for school board, please do. I have no problem.
I appreciate you following my comments. I just want it fixed.
So we do want to.
There's not one person in this room, in this county, in this school board, in this whole area that doesn't want to fix this building.
But I think that's like the point that we're getting at. We can fix it. We have the money and the resources.
Exactly.
But
Sorry.
no one tells us how to fix it. Except for an engineer, that we don't know, the insurance trusts them, that they don't tell us how to do it. Like, we got the money and the resources, like, what is it?
So, I get it. The insurance company, all they are is holding us liable. And they say, listen, we cannot insure this because of the condition that we've seen it in. And once again, yes, we should have done something about it. We can't just allocate money out of nowhere if we're losing money.
Well, I understand that, but this has been going on
For years, and the school's
for
been,
years,
and the
since
school's
before
been
I
losing the money for
went to
years.
We've been in a deficit.
We've been losing kids. I graduated in
But
2011.
they need to
I
hire
graduated with
someone else
70
to run
kids.
this business.
Now we're graduating 40
It's
to 50. Everyone's leaving the area. It's not like there's just tons of tax money just rolling in.
Well, yeah, people are leaving because they're taking things away.
Exactly, that's everywhere. Every small school in this area is hurting. It's not just ACV Valley.
Oh, I know.
And once again, I wish we had this much public participation in every meeting. Because I hate to say it, more would honestly get done if people would stand behind us. Because no one understands.
Most of the time, people don't come to board meetings because we're looked at like dog shit under your shoe.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Yes.
Can I give my honest
I
opinion?
appreciate y'all being there.
Yeah.
I do, and you know how much I've been belittled this week? Be honest, I've been belittled very much this week. But you know what? I've also educated people, and people have educated me. There's so much miscommunication, and it's no one's fault. It's everyone's fault. You know, it's not like there's one person who's doing everything wrong and stealing millions of dollars from here. Like, I wish everyone cared as much as you guys did. And I wish everyone honestly cared. I can't say the words, but I wish people cared and would be here more often, because before this all happened, no one had reached out, no one even knew who I was. And I've only been here for a few months. Now a few people have contacted me. Now people know who I am. And I hope people keep talking to me, because I'm the voice for my area. Unless people don't talk to me, I can't make a difference. She can't make a difference. No one on this board can make a difference unless people talk to them. And I hate to say it, no one wants to talk to me unless it's a problem.
Because we've all had experiences with the board where we've all committed for our certain concerns, and we're basically looked at, and they just go,
Which I can understand how you feel, but I can tell you that people talk. We all talk about what's going on. And there's only so much that we can sometimes do. You know, it's not like we're the say-all, end-all. I can't come on this board and say, I don't like David. I want to fire David. It's a collective issue.
oh, I know.
And, you know, I can't take how much of people don't understand what really goes on. If you want to know how it really goes on, be here. I'm here. I volunteered to be here. I wish
volunteer to do what we do.
Exactly. And there's no one on this board that doesn't want to take that away from you.
Doesn't seem like it.
Well, I understand how you feel, and we all do, but opinions differ. And if people honestly cared and wanted to help, they would be here for everything, not just one entity. I'm not saying you guys don't matter, and no one on this board says you guys don't matter, because everyone matters. But I'm not gonna say anymore. We all care, and we're all here for a reason to keep this school running. I don't want to ship my kids to other schools if AC Valley would close down. No one wants to. We want to keep them here. And I hate to say it, but the schools are allocating money to keep this place afloat. Once again, we're losing money. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know who made that comment, but let me tell you, I have 2 boys at varsity football level, do you think, and one's a senior. I'm a junior, not a senior. I don't get to walk my senior across AC Valley's football field where I walk.
I've got cousins that don't get to walk their little senior out of our youth program across the field this year. I don't know what that means to us as
And
Falcons.
it means,
It means the world.
And it means the world to me. It breaks my heart. I would like to see nothing more than not to see my kid
drags me through to see my kid next year, if I see my oldest son walk across Union Night football field as a senior night, it's just not right.
And we agree with you, we voted. We're okay with being back on our field.
I have a question.
But
Is there a certain engineer that we could hire them ourselves to
console,
consult to see what needs done? Like, is there a certain engineer we have to go through to see what needs done that we can get something moving?
Like, they just give them the same list that we have.
Do we have to use yours? Is there somebody we can go
We have a
to?
whole list of like recommendations.
then we have a list and we can.
You have a copy, Paul has a copy.
All right, so, we, go ahead, Landon, please continue, and
Well, I think we're beating a dead horse here.
I would agree, I'm gonna finish up and get out of here.
Yeah, because technically you have 5 minutes, so.
I didn't see you start the timer, we can
I
start now.
did, but I can tell you,
To his point, well, I was interrupted a lot. To his point, perception is not your version of reality in leadership. And you gotta remember that. And all the stuff, I didn't bring up everything else that everybody told me. Perception is perception, it's not your version of reality. And your version might be correct, it probably is correct. I believe you are trying, you're here, it's volunteer. I will do whatever I can. I'm here, I think it's Patty on the phone, I found out I'm in her district, I didn't even know how to do that stuff. So I will be working closely, I'll do whatever I can. I'm a passionate parent, I respect everybody in here, paid and unpaid, for their positions and their hard work. Perception is not your version of reality. Thanks.
Thank you, we look forward to seeing you. Anything else? Let me find my agenda again. I have nothing.
One more question. Third time's a charm. Okay, so would we be able to reach out to somebody? You said you don't want to have people coming out multiple times. I know with the league and the waiver, there might be some issues with the waiver because of the letter that was sent. And I kind of want to just get back to why most of us are here right now and playing on the field. Would we be able to reach out and get somebody to come and look at the field and say, you know what, big scheme of things, yes, you guys need to take off 12 inches of topsoil, you need to do this, that, and the other thing. But to get you on the field this year, to make it playable, you need to aerate the field. You need to do this or that. Would we be permitted to have somebody come out and look at the field and say, you know what, this would make it work for now, but you need to do this moving forward, because you can't keep babying it along
I would say that would have to depend on the insurance company.
on your insurance.
Yes.
That was more just a recommendation, I'm not sure you're asking about, Jack.
Well, I just want to know if we could have somebody come out, or do we reach out to the insurance company and say, who would be okay by you to have come look at this field?
They gave us a whole list.
You might need somebody from Penn State.
Can we have that list? Can we try to do the legwork too?
Yes.
But it's okay if we do that.
I would just also be in conjunction with our insurance company. So that way the engineering firm can also speak to the insurance company, and there's not anyone that's.
I mean, if the list was provided from the insurance company, we have a copy of the list.
Idea at this point, we have suspicion of the insurance company being biased, and obviously with the football field, with an engineer, with us reaching out, you guys seem to have some bias, so I think a third-party engineering firm is appropriate at this point.
I agree.
I don't want it to be affiliated with your insurance company. I want an honest assessment.
Who's gonna pay to have that done? I'm just asking questions.
Whoever, like, I can go out, give you an assessment right now, and you'll never got it. Probably won't, like that.
Well, I think to the point is, I can hire an engineering firm, I can.
Exactly.
I mean, if we would reach out to somebody,
Whoa, wait, we didn't slip money in anybody's pocket.
But if we would have a disaster, figure it out, or find out what the cost is to have that field looked at by some other party. Is that acceptable?
I have no
just
problem
wanna
with
know,
it.
what can we do to maybe make it so they can step foot on this field?
I think if you go down that road, just definitely loop in Dr. McDivitt on your plans of what you, if you plan to have any personnel in the district, so we can be aware of what's happening, we're all on the same page moving forward, so we can get this field in playing shape.
We need to come back next week and figure this out. Yeah, like, when is this gonna happen?
When is what going to
Oh,
happen?
I'm sorry, the next board meeting. Do we have to keep coming to the board meeting and figuring out?
We've already approved you guys playing, So it's basically on,
No, for the assessment.
for the,
Just like we can play, if you haven't told us what we need to do to be able to do that. You haven't put a plan in motion, we haven't discussed anything of any substance. Go forward.
The plan for you guys playing on the field is up to your insurance company, not us.
We
Now you're saying it also has to work with your insurance.
No, that's not
have
what
all
we said.
voted to say, yes, you can use our football field. If you sign a waiver saying that your insurance will take on the liability.
But our insurance will
And,
let us.
can I finish, please? Thank you. And, currently, it's not looking like that, the Pee Wee football insurance is gonna sign off on that. So that's where,
If you just gave them a letter from an insurance company that says that there's an insurance liability. Now, what insurance company in their right mind is going to then insure that?
we tried to come up with
So,
something.
like, that's my point about this being biased. It seems like we're being very real
What do we wanna know?
by this decision at this point in time.
What
This
would,
could have been done in April when you got approved this agenda, when you approved us to use the field. This could have been done in June when you approved our schedule.
let's see, we tried to get somebody here, Dr. McDivitt gave me dates, June 25th, July 10th,
That's
July
after you
20th.
approved us to use the field.
So a lot of
That's
this
right.
stuff did not come to light until after that date.
why all of a sudden did they decide they wanted to affect the field?
So we
After all
can
these
use it
years?
this year.
We wanted to get varsity back here to play, and that was how we had to go, that's what we had to do to get it done.
So all we wanna know is if we have someone come in here, whether it's a third party, whether it's your party, whether whoever's party comes in here, if we can get a biased person to come in here and say, hey,
Unbiased.
I'm biased, whatever. If you get a person to
Big
come in
difference.
here and say, hey, if you aerate the field, it's perfectly fine for you to play this year, but this will have to be done in the long run. Would that be okay? Would your insurance company go, okay, we're good with that?
Well, it's not gonna be.
That's not the insurance company.
It's up to your insurance company to
No, it's up to your insurance company because we can't sign the waiver. What we're saying is if we get a guy in here certified that says, if you do this to the field, you can play on the field because it is now safe for the children for this year. But in the long run, this is all gonna have to be done. But then we have to sign off on your insurance because you don't wanna be liable because we put money in the field to make it so they can play.
So our insurance has never had youth football as an insured party on our insurance.
So then why do we have to sign a waiver if it's going on?
Do you want to explain that, David, as far as?
Or Zach, maybe Zach.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, a minute, please.
Hey, Zach, can you speak with my company just so everyone can hear you? Thank you.
So, everybody hear me?
Yes.
So we asked that, said that you can play on the field, the youth group can play on the field if they take the liability. The district does not want to be liable for any injuries. Clearly, it's documented that the field has safety issues. So if you want to play on it, that's fine, but you have to take the liability too, because if somebody sues, they would sue you and they would sue the district.
That's not what I'm saying.
So what we're asking for, since the entity probably doesn't have a lot of assets, is to put an insurance policy behind it. So it's not that an inspection or aeration matters to the district, it's that there's an insurance policy behind it and that you have insurance.
Well, they have insurance, but,
Until this.
so what has
Field
been
issue.
going on all these other years that they didn't have to sign a waiver, now all of a sudden they want the youth football to sign a waiver?
I don't know what's going on in other years, but in this year, that field has been determined, and I've been inspecting the field, I know nothing about that field. That field has been determined to be a liability and a safety issue. So once that happens, the district can't hardly let kids play on it, knowing that if someone tears an ACL when they step in one of those ruts, that they're gonna sue the district unless you put an insurance policy behind it.
Exactly, but if we get someone in here to fix the field that they can play on it safely this year or even next year, and the guy from the guy that's certified to say this, okay, if you do this and this to the field, you can play on it. But this is all the stuff that's gonna have to be done in the future. But if you do the air raiding, or you do this, or you did this, then it is safe for the children to play, but yet the school's still gonna make the youth football sign a waiver on the insurance, even though they've had someone come in and say certified, yep, perfectly fine, you can play on it, it's perfect for now.
Well, that would be up to the school board if they want to take that risk. There's always risk of being sued, so if that field is carpet perfect, but you still can't get insurance, then that'd be up to the school board. That's not up for me to say. But as of now, our discussions have been that there is risk in this current condition, and as such, it needs to have an insurance policy, just like Carrie explained.
Sir, for clarification, you mentioned that the school district does not carry a rider or pay a premium to insure athletics into the school. Is that what you said?
I did not say that.
Youth football?
That's what was said. I didn't say it. I don't know what is on.
No, I'm asking, I'm sorry, I'm not as passionate anymore. I'm asking, so, but our insurance, the school has, never covered?
Well, with regards to this field, David can speak to it, but my understanding was that the insurance company said in this current condition, we're not going to insure it. So now we're left with no insurance. So we said, okay, if you guys will insure it, that's fine, but we don't have any insurance. So typically, that field would be insured, is my understanding, but this year it's been inspected and our insurance company said no. So if it needs an insurance company, you probably agree.
Why would we shop for different insurance carrier?
But here's the thing is, you're not a school affiliated organization. So our insurance does not cover your group. It covers our own sports activities that are school affiliated. So you have always gotten your own policy, am I correct, Paul? Because you've had to, your whole league does, because no school covers you, am I correct?
Right, we have our own policy.
Right.
Everybody leaves.
And every district's the same. You have to get a policy because their school does not, you're not school affiliated.
So, and I'm sorry, but it's a forward thing. We do all this work, the board included, the administration, we do all this work to fix it. Will there be junior high varsity athletics, intercollegiate activities?
That's what we want, yes.
That's our goal.
That's our.
I saw it renewed in July, and he came out, the underwriting, they sent the safety manager for underwriting. I get the premiums. I just didn't know if you shop for different insurance with this letter. I mean, no, nobody in the right mind. And so we're stuck. I just want clarification, so if we do all this work, we will get the school. Because I'm new, I'm trying to figure this out. We'll have school athletics, even if we can't fill the field, we'll be able to, right?
Yes, and our hope is to bring back the varsity and JV varsity back to AC Valley Field as well.
We would like to split games again with Union, is what we'd like. So
Split, you mean the horse will come back?
Yeah, the.
No.
So like it was the first few years of the co-op, we played half of our games here, half of our home games here, and half at Union.
Yeah, I mean, for the current circuit, are we allowed to do strength and conditioning on the field? As long as it's not sporting event, or is that?
I don't make the decisions what you're allowed to do.
But you're the solicitor. So
He's our.
I'm the solicitor, and I advise the district that there would be risk of that based upon that letter that you saw. So if the district board wants to undertake that risk, that's up to them. I can say to the district that there's certainly risk based upon the letter and the condition of the field. I haven't seen the field, I don't know how big that risk is.
Yeah, I mean, in the safety letter, I wish you did inspect the equipment. Because it's not safe. You go out there and jump up and down and you run and tackle somebody without gear on or helmet. This group is, I have friends about Philly who got here. Hundreds of kids at school that, he looked at the equipment and what this group is built. He was blown away. So I wish he had seen that. I mean, yeah, it's not safe. I go out my head about the ground, it's hard as a rock. I put a freaking PILA certified helmet on, and guess what? It reduces my risk, just like a seatbelt in a car. I just wish we'd have that.
Okay, so at this point, is there any other comments from the board?
One more comment?
One more. It's gonna be two.
Let's turn my vote. You guys saying, go up and talk. Before we leave today, and we start building that committee. The field committee, have people sign up, put your email, put your phone number, do whatever, start working towards that committee now.
Well, I think we have to reestablish it in a meeting, correct? We have to do that during our regular board meeting, reestablish the committee, because that's a regular
then can you put that on your agenda for
Yes.
the next?
I missed that, and I do apologize, but, and then I'm done, this has been a long time. But our insurance is gonna have difficulty insuring us because of that one letter that we received. So that's kind of a no-go. The board approved it to play on the field, great, but we actually can't get on the field because no one's gonna insure us. Can you reach out to, the board reach out to their insurance company that insures the majority of the school, even though we've never been insured like youth program? Can you at least ask them what it would take for us to be insured with them, even though we're not affiliated with the school?
You mean you go under our policy?
Like an umbrella somehow? I mean, I don't know anything about that, I'm just asking, I'm trying to think of like alternative ways to get us on the field. Does that make sense?
But what about the other teams that come?
Yeah, I don't know about that, that was just my brain.
Yeah, I see where you're going, but you've got all these other teams that would be here, so.
But aren't they insured under their own? Or is it, like, when we play at Keystone, Paul, is it under us or is it under Keystone's waiver, like their insurance?
It's under yours. If it's the way it was whenever I was playing football, your insurance covers you at any of the schools that you play at.
Plus, you're all, according to what Paul told me, every team in your league has the same insurance.
Okay.
Do you know too, with the gentleman that wrote the letter and came out and inspected the field, he had put in that letter that there hadn't been proper maintenance in over 50 years. And where he got these numbers from, and did he reach out to anyone to see what had all been done to the field prior? Because to me, putting in a letter that it hadn't been maintenance for 50 years is pretty.
Mr.
I
Best,
mean,
you
that's
were there,
insult to
correct?
your maintenance facility, like
Yeah,
team two.
can we ask Mr. Best, because he's our maintenance director, and he walked the field with this gentleman. Would you address that? Did he ask you?
He never said anything directly to me, but I just said like, back when the field was put in, there's been lots of use to it over the years, and we never put material back on it, other than the last couple of years, but that was very little material.
But even the last couple of years, there had been things done to it, but he didn't take that into consideration or didn't put that in his letter. So I would also have an issue with that letter being incorrect, and then that's what we have to provide to now our insurance company that is gonna cause us difficulty whenever he didn't properly put the information in the letter. So again, I would say about reaching out to him and maybe amending or correcting his letter.
I just wanna,
That wasn't for you, that was for her.
I just wanna comment, like, I know that the school maintenance did aerate the field in fall. 2 years ago, we did, have a barrier cut come in, we paid $2,000, worked with the school and had it done the field. Mark Milford was great, and his replacement is just as good, James Best. I wanted to make sure to let him know what he's done this year has been fantastic. I mean, we really appreciate the efforts he's brought. And on the closing, I don't think anybody else has anything to say. Thank you all for these uncomfortable conversations. These are how we get things done by having them, so.
And please,
Thank
come
you
to
all.
some more board meetings. We want people at the board meetings.
So are we on the agenda for creating the committee next time?
Yes, we will add that to the
So
agenda.
we should all come back that meeting too.
That's what we do.
Happy
We
to
all
say
need to
about,
come.
yeah.
Now, understanding that this committee can't be 50 people. You get nothing done with a committee of 50 people. But I would
A
suggest,
representative from everywhere.
yes, that you pick your representatives who you'd like to be on the committee. Paul had been on the committee. You
Yeah.
may want to recommend,
Which they only have one meeting, right?
Yeah, but we have a couple work meetings.
Well, I can tell you with this group, it is gonna fizzle out.
okay, that's
So I
awesome.
hope everybody is serious.
And if we could have communication with the varsity team, Carrie, and ask if those coaches would be part of this
Well,
committee.
I know that they've already expressed interest,
We'll approach them personally too.
Okay, great.
And I should have said that from the get-go. I'm not here to represent varsity or junior high. I mean, I know they have concerns and arguments. I am no way here to even, to get into that with them. I mean, that's their fight.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, we can see you folks again here in a couple weeks at our August meeting, which will be the 19th. We have a virtual meeting on the 12th, and then the actual board meeting is on the 19th. You're welcome to attend the virtual meetings. Links are on our website at any time. So I'm gonna call, we have no transportation, miscellaneous, old business, or new business. Can I have a motion to
Motion
adjourn?
to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?